Good evening and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this stream of the Ivy League of Legends semifinal game between Cal Poly and UT Austin. I am Malphus X here with Danya Harold, and we will be casting the action for you tonight. And I have to say, if these games are going to be anything like what we saw last Friday night between UCI and SUNY Stony Brook, I cannot wait to hop into these games. Danya?
Yeah, absolutely. Last Friday, we were delayed until about 2 o'clock in the morning, so we had a bit of a late start, but it was worth it. We had three incredible games where we started off really strong for Stony Brook, and then UCA was able to rally and pick up the last two games of that set in a set of really tight, really intense games that really kind of showcased the quality and skill level of these teams, which is really something else.
Just absolutely, just fantastic play, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of the same tonight. We are waiting. I've been told that the teams are just about ready, so we should be getting invites any moment now to hop on in here. And if anyone's watching the stream, I'm hoping that you're doing it from ivylaw.com. You can check it out there. You can find all sorts of information. Ivy Law obviously is a collegiate-based competitive League of Legends league where you can form teams based on what university you go to and compete against other universities from all across the nation, all vying for that #1 spot.
I'd just like to go ahead and point out that there is a Reddit thread up. There is a thread on the journal discussion, so if you want to try and go and throw out your opinions, you can do it in either of those locations. There also is the chat, which when we have a chance, we'll try and check, but when we're in-game, there's just really not much of an ability to do that just because the action's going to be happening so fast.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm being a jerk. I'm sitting here harassing people for invites. Where are the invites? I want to cast the games. I want to make the talkings.
Yeah, it sometimes can be a little bit difficult to do that if you're not actually in the games themselves, but we should be getting those any minute now.
Yes. Yes. Just checking it out here. Checking it out, doing the waitings. So if anybody is waiting, if you want to see some of the VODs from earlier on, you can check out my channel at twitch.tv/MalphusX. There is the VODs from the semifinal game on Friday. And there's also UCI's quarterfinal match as well against, I believe they're playing the University of British Columbia. Also, Dire Wolfie, I know, has some VODs up on his channel. Wolfie, can you send me a link to your stream, to your own channel as well, so I can share that with the fine people of this stream? Kind of assuming, are you watching the stream at the moment? And I guess I'll also open up the owned stream as well to find it so I can actually be like a part of the chat occasionally. More live. And because we are right around here, where is Ivy League of Legends? There we go, casting stream. Take a look at this. And we'll do the mutings there and join chat.
Yep, absolutely. I'm going to go ahead and get in on that as well. So just kind of catching across to the stream.
So yeah, so I am in the chat now. If you guys have any questions or anything like that, you can hook me up. And it sounds like we got an invite. Yeah, there it is. Custom. Okay,
there we
blind
go.
pick. So it looks like we are going to be seeing picks and bans going to be done out here in the lobby, which just gives them opportunity in case anyone doesn't really have like every single champion. Sometimes not everybody has everyone that they want to play, and this avoids any sort of like awkwardness.
Yeah, especially if a team is trying to do a first pick on a champion and their first pick choice doesn't have it. That can just kind of ease that difficulty. If you're trying to first pick someone like, just to throw off just a random champion, probably not a very first picked one, but like Riven, and your first pick doesn't have Riven, you want to be able to get Riven so the other team doesn't get Riven, and so thus you would have it here in the blind pick because, as we've said, not everyone owns all of the champions, and a big part of play at this level is the picking strategy that the teams are going to be coming out with. So this isn't just a blind pick game where you just kind of pick a champion at random. You don't know what the other team's getting. A lot of the pick choices are going to be related to what's been picked before them.
Absolutely, yeah. Let's see. I'm getting. I'm still waiting for Wolfie to hook me up with his his own channel. I'll make a little notepad over here on the side. This is super high tech right here. So you can find some at twitch.tv/MalphusX, and you can find all sorts of other goodies there. And then owned.tv/direwolfie is where you can also find a lot of, especially a lot of Ivy Law VODs. There, he's been casting actually pretty much the majority of the tournament. We've been kind of like last-minute ringers brought in to do the semifinals and finals. But Dire Wolfie will be with us tonight. He's going to be doing the post-game interviews with players from both Cal Poly and UT Austin. This is UT Austin, right? I'm not saying that wrong, am I? UT Austin? Yes? Yeah, UT Austin. Yeah.
I was say I can, I was gonna check just to be sure, but yes, we do have the University of Texas at Austin and the SLObros. So we have the PangGirls and the SLObros.
PangBros and the SLObros. Or what is it, PangGirls? Is that what it is?
PangGirls, yes.
PangGirls? Nice. Okay, so just so I'm clear, is it, I see, is this UT Austin? No, UT Austin's going to be on the blue team. Is that right? And then Cal Poly on the purple team?
So yeah, I'm going to have to check with our delightful Matthew Albert there about that.
I can just make a quick question here. These are the sides you guys are going to be on. Because if that's the case, then I could go ahead and set up the overlay for the game to make sure that we've got the right teams on the right sides here. See, I'm getting a message here. Yep. Yes. Okay, cool. So yeah, we will be seeing UT Austin on the blue and Cal Poly in the purple. Sounds good. So I'll go ahead. I'm going to make the overlays really, really quick. If you guys want to, if you want to try to find something to chat about here, Jeff, while we wait for the rest of the invites to go down.
All right, I guess I can go ahead and do that. We do see that the Facebook post from the League of Legends, main page is up. So hopefully we'll be getting some people starting to trickle in from there as we're moving into this game. Last series we did have, again, we had that first win going to Stony Brook, and then the second two getting picked up by UCI. So whichever team is going to be winning here is going to be up against UCI. And having seen them in action, they're a really, really strong team. So I'm hoping we're going to see an equally impressive showing with these two teams here. And I'd personally like to see 3 games because I like to see as many games as I can see. Just because these players are really playing at an extremely high level. A lot of these teams have players who are trying out for the IPL qualifiers, who are getting into a lot of those other really large tournaments on other teams. So it was actually the reason we were delayed on Friday, is one of the players did actually have an IPL qualifier that they were playing in during the scheduled time for the original match. So again, this is a really high level of play that hopefully we're going to be seeing a lot of those really sophisticated team composition, those choices that they're going to be making to not only counter what their opponents pick, but to really build a team with a strategy in mind. And so again, I can't say just how excited I am about this, because this is hopefully going to be 3 really amazing games tonight. So, and again, we're just waiting right now to try and get as much kind of everything ironed up and smoothed out as much as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm still, this is going to sound really, really dumb 2 days later. I'm still reeling from Friday night's games. I mean, that may partially have to do with something with the fact that they started midnight my time here in Central Time. Started at midnight and ended up running until 2:33 a.m. But, I have to say that, oh man, Ivy Law action is pretty infectious. It really gets to you. It kind of sticks with you here. So just hanging out, waiting for the last of these invites to get accepted so we can get into Game 1 of this series.
Yeah, I mean, it's especially, really kind of sticking with you when you realize that these guys really are playing at the professional level. And being able to cast this kind of game is just really a lot of fun because, to be honest, the action is almost happening too fast to catch. I mean,
nothing happens too fast for me to catch. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, we'll find out. We'll see if these teams can stump us yet. But a lot of people like to get on the caster's case that, oh, you missed the first blood or something, but, a lot of times when the action happens, it happens everywhere at once. So we're going to do our absolute best to catch everything we can, but I am just going to go ahead and warn you in advance. If there's 2 fights going on at once, we'll hit the one we can find, and we may just have to rewind and catch the other one. So, we're definitely going to do our best to bring you all of the blood, all of the action, but, if these teams are anything like the teams on Friday, it's going to be intense right from level 1.
Absolutely, yeah. So looks like a couple more invites are going down. Obviously, the Facebook post is having its effect as we just broke 1,000 viewers, and the buddy subscription requests are starting. And I will go ahead and stop being really dumb, and yeah, put that Skype up there. So hopefully I don't get like 18 trillion Skype friend request ads as well, contact requests, because that was a bit much.
Yeah, that would be a little bit special. Well, I mean, unfortunately, I'm feeling a little alone here. I actually haven't gotten any requests yet, but, you know, I suppose after that debacle last time, I was like, my friends list is kind of getting full. That was a little bit embarrassing, because I had like a bazillion people like, friend me, and I was like, I can't. I mean, if I do, I can't, actually. It's just, there's a limit on how many people you can have on your friends list. But there you have it. At some point, I need to go through and remove all the people that I friended when I was like level 3, and I have no idea who they are now, but I always feel bad about removing people from a friends list. It's just somehow feels very final and harsh.
Oh, and Communist Puppy being a good guy there. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day, everybody out there.
Absolutely, everybody. Make sure that you tell your mothers that you love them, because, you know, no matter how much you might, you know, fight with your mother, no matter how much, you know, you might be like, oh, she doesn't understand me, I promise you, your mother loves you and has probably done a whole lot for you. So just go ahead and, you know, spend a moment, send her a text, you know, just let her know that you care. All right, it looks like we are ready to begin our picks and bans. The first ban coming out right here is a Gragas ban, and I'm going to assume that that is targeted at somebody on this team, because, you know, that's not a very typical first ban choice coming out.
Yeah, normally not a lot of people really fear the fat man with the barrel under his arm, but maybe they know something we don't. Unfortunately, I think I've only seen Cal Poly play one game, and I think it was just like a regular season game during the Season 1 tournament against UCI. I happen to have a couple friends on UCI's team, and I was just, you know, I just casted a game for them one night, just kind of randomly. But so yeah, Greg is gonna be banned out, and Jana and Udi are actually gonna be following him on the way out there. So, you know, Udi are one of those super fast AoE clear junglers. They can clear the entire jungle, run around, clear the enemy jungle, and then run out and do some serious ganking. Or also a very dominant presence up in the top lane. He just puts up a whole bunch of turtle shells, sustains himself super nicely, and really doesn't care too much for anyone's damage or poke or anything.
Yeah, I mean, Udyr is just a really solid ban to have, because he's so versatile. He's not only the, you know, one of those 3 top-tier god junglers who can just speed through the jungle and then start counter jungling. You know, level 2 red steel is a very typical thing for Udyr to do. And so he's just a very solid pick in just about anywhere you want to put him, which makes him just really dangerous. So he's a very solid ban to pick out. And then Jana is one of those really strong supports that has been, you know, sort of borderline, I'm not going to say overpowered. She's in a really good spot right now, but she's been borderline used by everyone in a lot of big tournaments, either getting banned or picked. And in a lot of the games she gets picked, she does extremely well. So Jana ban, not too surprising. The Rise ban coming out, he had a rework recently. The opinion is still out about whether or not that made him more or less powerful, but he's still a very powerful choice. So I'm not too surprised to see a Rise ban. And then the Lee Sin ban coming out as well. Also a very good choice, because, you know, Lee is a really dominant top laner, and his jungle's nothing shabby as well.
Yeah, exactly. Another one of those very versatile picks that you can kind of choose those picks to first pick, and then not really worry about giving away too much of your team's strat too early. So people.
So we've got the bans are done. We're going to just go ahead and wait on these first picks coming out right now. And, I mean, we've got, you know, the University of Texas at Austin versus California Polytechnic. For anyone who's arriving late to the stream, our blue team is UT Austin, whereas California Polytechnic is going to be our purple team here. So right now, the bans do stand at Gragas, Jana, Udyr, Rise, Lee Sin, and then the last ban coming out is Mundo, which is the sort of second of those 3 god-tier super fast junglers, because he's got that really fast clear speed, really strong counter jungling, and his ganks stick to you pretty darn well.
Yep, and there is the first pick, Shen. You know, we could be seeing Shen go up in the top lane. We could be seeing Shen jungle. That's something we're seeing more and more of lately. It's, you know, he's super strong either way, because what he brings to the table is some ridiculous utility with his ultimate, and a very tanky champion who can go around, do a lot of taunts, do a lot of CC, and kind of keep people sat down and do a lot of good work for his entire team.
Yeah, absolutely. And not only that, Shin is one that you normally expect to see banned. In one of the recent tournaments I watched, it was the Intel Extreme Masters that I watched. Shin was either banned or picked in basically every game. And in all of the games that he was in, I think he only lost one. So he's in a really strong place right now. So I'm going to be expecting a lot from this Shin right now.
Yeah, exactly. And it's kind of a little paradox there because Shin gets banned so much. A lot of times people get a little rusty on him because you never ever see him, so you never really get a chance to play him. And so then all the pressure's now because it's like, oh, you're playing Shin? He's so OP. We're definitely gonna win. And then the guy's like, oh, how do I Shadow Dash again? So,
What skill do I max first? Oh, I can't remember. Yeah, we do have this Graves and Soraka pick coming out for our team here, the purple team. That would be our California Polytechnic. And that is a really strong lane in that Graves is one of those aggressive, in-your-face AD carries. He's got a lot of ability to go in, 1 versus 2, deal a lot of damage, and then just back out and let Soraka heal him back up to full. And so that's going to let him, sort of deal a lot of that damage on his own, and then get healed back up again, especially with the armor that he gets off of her heal and his own innate passive. He's kind of tanky in that, sort of initial stage of the game. So I feel like that's a strong bottom lane that's got a lot of ability to play passive or aggressive depending on the situation.
absolutely, yeah. And when Graves does go aggro, man, does he bring the pain. If you get a Graves up in your face hitting you with a buckshot, especially if he manages to land all 3 shells and gets that bonus, what is it now, 30% damage, 40% damage, it can really start to hurt really, really fast. And especially, and just like you said, I mean, it's just like, it's like the base is 5 steps behind him. He just walks back and then, a couple heals from Soraka and maybe 1 infuse or 2 infuses later, and he's all good to go, ready for round 2.
Yep, absolutely. And I'm just going to go ahead and, wow, I'm starting, that sound every time someone friend requests me is very distracting. It's like, it's a really loud sound. We do have the next pair of picks coming out, though. Blitzcrank and Ezreal. This is an interesting choice here for UT Austin. There's no sustain in that lane at all. So, against Soraka, who's kind of like the queen of sustain, they've got 0 sustain, but they've got 2 really aggressive champions with Blitzcrank and Ezreal. Ezreal's sort of an interesting AD choice. He's not as popular on the NA server as he is with the Chinese League of Legends community. He is more popular over there. And there's a lot of people say he's overpowered in their meta. And so he's one of those champions, he can build a lot of attack speed out just from his passive, and he's able to spam out a lot of damage pretty quickly. And he's got that blink to stick on people. And then Blitzcrank with that pull, kind of that combination's got a lot of potential aggro. So, if they can pull out Soraka and just burst her down, Graves is going to be in a weird situation where he's like, I could fight and hurt you, but I'm not sure if I can finish you both off. So it's going to be kind of a really interesting bottom lane, I think, to see if they're able to get that aggression to do what they want it to do. Because if they don't get those early kills that they're trying to pick up with Blitzcrank and Ezreal, I think their lane is going to fall behind.
Well, and that's the other thing, too, about this is that one other dynamic is that Graves does, like we were talking about, he is super, super aggressive and can get in and do all that 1v2 action, but he has to close the distance to really be able to do that. And Ez is actually one of those champions that he has decent auto attack range, but also his Q, the Mystic Shot, it actually has a really, really long range on it. He's going to be able to use that to try to poke down Graves, try to poke down Soraka, and just keep himself far, far enough away that he's safe from Graves ever trying to go in for a really hard engagement. I think what they're going to really be looking to do with Blitzcrank is they're going to be trying to find opportunities to either pull Graves far enough away from Soraka that she can get the heal off in time before they put just a huge amount of burst down on him, which Ezreal is pretty well suited to do that, maybe more so than just about any other AD carry outside of Graves himself. Or they might also be looking for opportunities if they see Graves kind of standing a little bit too far back off the creep line, and if Soraka finds herself stranded out in a brush, maybe a little too far forward, maybe Blitz can pull her into the 2 of them and try to see if Ezreal can burst her down before Graves can come in and return any damage, and either kill her or just put her in a situation where she has to use all of her mana getting her health back up and denying all that sustain to Graves.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we've got the next couple picks coming out here for California Polytechnic with the Malphite Nocturne picks, which is an interesting combination because Nocturne's pretty much kind of your jungler. I mean, I've never really seen Nocturne played anywhere else. And Malphite's kind of one of those champions who can go in more than one location. You can go top or you can go jungle, and they sort of broadcast that, yeah, he's going top because we already have this Nocturne for our jungle. And then sort of the counter pick here we've got picked up is Fiddlesticks and Mordekaiser, which is pretty interesting. Mordekaiser is pretty standard, mid choice. He's really strong. He's numero uno. And Fiddlesticks is interesting. I mean, you could be seeing a Fiddlesticks jungle here, which I think is going to be what's going to happen. But at the same time, this is going to be real interesting because we've got Fiddlesticks. He's not someone you see that often. He's got a humongous amount of damage potential, but at the same time, he's a total straw man. You blow on him and he falls over. And so it's going to be real hard for them to try and make sure that they get the most out of his ultimate, which is really a team melting ultimate. It really just deals the AoE damage like you would not believe until you've seen a Fiddlesticks ult into your team. It's really brutal. But at the same time, if he gets focused down, he's done. So I'm going to be real interested to see how they play this. And then we've got the last pick with Ari coming out. So I'm a big fan of Ari. I play her a lot. She's an interesting choice against Mordekaiser just because Mord has that shield. He's got a lot of ability to just kind of bully people. If he's able to get in amongst his minions and cause a lot of trouble. But at the same time, Ari's got that poke, and most importantly, it's a true damage poke. So she's really going to be able to burn his shield right back off again at range. And if he ever commits too much, she's got her charm, she's got a Foxfire, she's got an ultimate to really get out of range of Mordekaiser's spells. So I feel like there's a lot of give and take in that lane. I feel like that's going to be a really interesting lane to watch with the mid. I think it's going to come down a lot to the skill of both players. I don't feel like there's any real strong counter going on for either champion.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all going to come down to who has the better mechanics. Mord, I would say, maybe has slightly easier mechanics because he just puts his W on himself, walks into the melee creeps, hits Q, hits E, and the whole wave just died. Like, oh, where did the wave go? And then he could just go farm something else. Whereas Ari is going to have to be a little bit more careful and be a little bit more auto attacky and spell UCG and all those good things to pick up her farm. But I really do think it's just going to come down to who can get the most farm and then make their way into the team fight phase with more gold. I'm actually getting messages from the Ivy Law research department here in the form of Dire Wolfie saying that Inthio is #1 Fiddles player. It's actually his most played champion in ranked. And obviously, if you hit 2.2K, with your most played champ is probably going to be pretty solid. So,
in which case, I'm really looking forward to this because seeing Fiddles played at this level is going to be really intense. Because he's one of those really sort of high-risk, high-reward junglers. So I'm looking forward to seeing how he brings this off.
So yep, hopefully the good luck, have fun will let them know that spectators are indeed ready. And yep, there we are. We are now in the game. All right, I'm just gonna go ahead and throw up some summoner blockers, just because obviously we've already done our picks and bans, so we have a pretty good idea where everybody's gonna be going. But in case we see any sort of like really tricksy play, we don't want to throw that away. And Donald, I was about to say you're picking your wrong double lift champion there. You actually had the Poppy as the Blitz. There they go. There's the Blitzcrank now, looking much better. So, by the way, the stream just breaking 3,000 viewers right now. So, looking pretty good there.
Yeah, absolutely. And we also, want to point out that there is a Ivy Law Facebook page where you can keep up to date with everything that's happening in the Ivy Law League. If you're not, just going to go straight to their website. So feel free to go by and check that out, like it, follow it, if you want. That's a great place to get any more information. There's also going to be a Twitter for the Ivy Law, so make sure you check that out. So, anywhere you want to try and keep up to date with what's going on with this league, both of those are really good sources to do that with.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, this is an organization that definitely deserves the publicity. They definitely deserve your attention. They've been doing. I mean, this is such a great idea to set up. Like, come on, it's like the NCAA meets League of Legends. It's just so fantastic. And that's Riot looked at that and they were like, wow, this is really cool. We want to help publicize this. We want more people to know about it. And I mean, I just don't know what else to say about it. It's just really, really cool. And the coolest thing about this, and the most important thing that I can honestly say tonight, is the fact that these teams that are playing right now, this could very, very easily be you. You just start looking around your university, find other people that play League of Legends, create a team, start practicing, start scrimming, and just make it happen. Go to ivylaw.com, register your school. If your school isn't already if your school's already registered, start working on your chops and see if you can get on the team. I mean, just make it happen, and maybe we'll be sitting here casting you guys in the semifinals of Season 2.
Yeah, I mean, this is something that, I really can't emphasize that enough, that this really is something where it's a lot of people who are like, I'm passionate about this game, I'm good at this game, I want to play this game, and I want to compete, and why not throw in some school rivalry while we're at it? And so we managed to put together, this really great sort of like atmosphere of not only is this sort of this camaraderie of we're all playing this game together, but we're also kind of having a little bit of that school rivalry, you know? When you go up against your old school rivals, you got a little bit more than, oh, let's just play a game. It's a little bit of that extra fun you get from sort of inducing, you know, that college sports aesthetic.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and call it. You know, I mean, I'm a University of South Carolina alum, and if Clemson University, you know, if their team makes it to the semifinals next year, I'm just gonna quit. Like, I'm not casting. I'm just gonna, no, I'm just playing, guys. And before like massive flames on the forums and everything. Just kidding, just kidding. So yeah, as we take a look, obviously the summoners are in the loading screen or even in the game already, so let's take a look at the summoners we see. I really like this hyper-aggressive Blitzcrank. Gonna go ahead and pick up the Ignite and the Exhaust. He's thinking, why do I need Flash if I'm just gonna be able to use my Overdrive to get close enough to pull people, and I'm never gonna need it to get away because I'm just gonna kill everybody. So very, very gutsy Blitzcrank play here. I really, really like that. Take a look, Nocturne is running the fairly standard Nocturne summoner for the jungle, you know, running Exhaust instead of Flash. Fiddlesticks obviously is going to run Flash. I mean, there's just such a huge synergy between Fiddlesticks and Flash. You ult over a wall or something like that, and then Flash to reposition yourself, get yourself right on top of the enemy team. It's just so good. Shen's going to be running Ghost Ignite this game. Not, you know, fairly standard there. Mordekaiser, Flash Ignite, very, very standard for any AP mid. Again, Heal Flash, very standard. Ezreal's one of those AD carries, though, that because he has so much mobility from his Essence Shift, his E, he can get away with running, you know, some more aggressive summoners as well. Like, he could be the one running that Ignite along with his Heal, and have Blitz be able to use Flash to set up some really crazy pulls. But you know what? There's nothing wrong with taking Flash. I mean, I believe as SLObros used to term it, Flash is far and above the best skill for making plays and managing situations. And whenever you give your AD carry the ability to add on just that extra bit of mobility, you know, why not? Go for it.
Yeah, I mean, especially when you've got someone like Ezreal who's got a Flash built in, you can really catch people off guard with a sudden sort of double Flash. He covers a whole lot of ground. And that means that, you know, someone who thinks they're safe can suddenly have an Ezreal right on top of them, and that's a lot of damage out of nowhere.
Absolutely, yeah. It's just take a look at the summoners over on Cal Poly. They're saying the bottom lane, this is standard bottom lane, standard AP mid. The top, he's actually going to be running Teleport, so that's going to give him a little less kill potential against Shen, but it is exactly what they need to help cut down on Shen's ability to just split push all over the map. If Shen tries to split push, Malphite can respond to it, and then when Shen ults into the fights, Malphite can actually just teleport to a nearby ward and do basically the exact same thing.
Yeah, not only that, I mean, it's leaving, you know, Shen is not someone that you're really going to be killing in lane that easily. It's someone, he's one of those really tough to kill champions because he's got the Ghost to help him just kind of run out of any ganks. He's got the dash, which not only taunts you, but is also a really good way to run away. He's got a shield. He's got a health restoring, you know, ability that deals damage. So Shen's really hard to just kill in the lane. So I think Malphite, especially as a champion, is going to have a lot of trouble doing that. I feel like in the top lane we shouldn't expect too many kills. I feel like we should expect both of them to start trying to either teleport or ult out of the lane to make kills happen somewhere else.
Absolutely, yeah. And can I just briefly sit here and drool over how happy I am that we're going to be seeing surprise party Fiddlesticks? This is just one of my favorite skits of all time. I mean, I just love it. I remember when he first released, I picked him up immediately and I just got into a custom game and I just farmed to 6 as fast as I could. Like, I just went right down mid and literally all I wanted to do was just see that ultimate. Like, that was literally the only thing I had on my mind, and it was extremely satisfying. I can't wait to see Fiddlesticks make just some really, really clutch ultimate, get right in the middle of the entire enemy team, and everyone just to kind of get trolled, basically.
Well, I mean, it's kind of fun to see your entire team melting a cloud of confetti, I must admit. Though, personally, my personal favorite part about the skin is his drain. The party favorite drain is kind of amazing. But we're going to go and see everyone has already gotten into the game. We do have here in the bottom left side of the screen, as our blue team, we do have UT Austin versus California Polytechnic in the top right as our purple team. Both teams are moving out. They've bought their starting items. We do see that our team from UT Austin actually has all boots on all of the champions, including their jungle. So they're really going for, I mean, they've got that really high mobility. The team for California Polytechnic is going with boots on all of their champions except their support. So both teams are going for fairly interesting, starting choice, and both of them are going for this invade. We've got, UT Austin is coming up here to try and maybe gank the top laner as they're moving in the lane with that Blitzcrank Fist. maybe try and pick up the red. And at the same time, there's another invade plan for the red here by California Polytechnic. So we might be seeing one of those double invade sort of buff swaps that you sometimes see in the sort of like awkward situations where you both walk back to your lane feeling a little silly.
Well, I think what we're actually seeing here from Cal Poly is that with Blitzcrank, the thing that makes his level 1 so dangerous is his ability to separate one person. And if you stack everybody up like this, he can pull one person, but then everyone else is going to be right behind them ready to fight. And all Blitz really did was engage a fight. And I think they feel a little bit confident that their level 1 fight is going to be a little bit stronger than the enemy fight, which as level 1 is a lot of damage, but Mord has a little bit of AoE damage, but not really that much. And Fiddlesticks really doesn't do all that much level 1. So I have to say I'm kind of inclined to agree with him. I think they were just trying to bait out the fight rather than try to go for any sort of crazy invasion. And sure enough, Doctor's just going to go and help himself to his wolves and his blue.
Yeah, it looks like both teams have just backed off back into their own jungles. So both teams were looking for an easy kill at the start, and neither one of them got it. So now they're just going to go back into their lanes.
Oh, that pull actually didn't really do much. Fiddles had to go back, and he wanted to kill that last wolf before he went back. Mord went ahead and pulled it when the timer came up, so he didn't have to miss any creeps in his lane. And Fiddle's actually going to get taken down quite low. He's going to wait until the drain is all the way down, and then I believe he's going to smite. No, he's actually going to save his smite to increase his jungle speed. Very nice.
No, it looks like he just burned the smite as he moved out of range of the blue golem.
Ah, well, never mind then. Sorry, guys. So you see Shin going up here, trying to do a little CSing here with his Vorpal Blade. I think basically in the early levels, Shin's going to want to avoid Malphite as much as Malphite's going to want to avoid Shin. But then as Shin gets a couple more points into his skills, I think he's going to start playing a little bit more aggressively against Malphite. And I think
you can see that Soraka has had to ward both of the bushes down bottom, so that's 2 wards down for Soraka already.
And interestingly enough, neither team has a ward actually to protect.
Say Blitzcrank is actually pulling in Soraka here right now. Ezreal is jumping on top. We're using the flash, picking up the first blood. Graves is now alone, getting knocked up by Blitzcrank. Ez is putting on a little bit of extra damage. Blitzcrank is in line for the pull, but he's not going to quite be able to get it off cooldown just yet. So he's waiting for that opportunity. Graves is sticking around extremely low on health, as is Ezreal. Blitzcrank is going for that pull, trying to line that up. He's chasing Graves around, misses the pull. Graves is going to be able to escape that with his life there. But Blitzcrank's trying really hard to bully him around, and Graves is just refusing to go back to base.
Yeah, absolutely. Just really fantastic play there by Blitzaz. That's exactly how you want this lane to work. You want to separate the two, find an opportunity to get somebody low, and then pull them out and just take them down. I have to wonder if Soraka had used her exhaust on Ezreal there, if she would have been able to mitigate enough damage to get away with that. Obviously, she flashed it. Another great blitzer going down.
With the knock up. Ez is going to flash on top of Graves. He's dropping extremely low. We have the heal coming off of Soraka, and Graves is barely getting out of that one alive. He's thinking about basing, changing his mind, going to go ahead and burn his last potion, try and stay in here for a little bit more CS and experience. But that Blitzcrank Ezreal combination is proving to be extremely deadly whenever anybody sticks a toe out of line.
Absolutely, yeah. And that's one of the great synergies between Ez and Blitz, is the fact that Blitz, with a lot of AD carries, Blitz has to be very careful of his positioning, and he has to find that really rare opportunity where not only can he get a hook to go past all the creeps and hit the enemy champions, the targets he really wants to hit, and actually Nocturne going to continue to sit here and try to just harass his Mordekaiser, but not much coming from it. Not only does he have to be able to get the hook to land on the champions, but he generally has to be near enough to his AD carry that they can follow up on it if the hook lands. Ezreal, he has that ability to reposition himself in the blink of an eye, and, that really makes Blitz's job a lot easier. All he has to do is worry about landing hooks. And as you saw there, he landed the hook. Blitz, he did the essence, the arcane shift, excuse me, and, got right on top of Graves there and was able to just deal a ton of damage.
Yeah, and it's important to note that this boots first opening for Blitzcrank has actually paid off really well. So, it's making it really easy for him to position himself to land those hooks. Especially on someone like Soraka, who does not have those boots and is otherwise very, having a lot of trouble positioning herself to avoid getting snared. And, Ezreal did just blow his summoner heal to try and just stay in the lane longer. And so we do see, however, that, Shin is managing to bully Malphite out of the lane a little bit up top.
Malphite, he actually went back to shop and he came back and he walked into a brush that had a Fiddlesticks in it. And Fiddles drained him down for a pretty good chunk. And then he won. He walked away from Fiddlesticks. Shin landed a taunt and dropped even more of his HP down when Malphite was like, man, it's 2v1. I really don't want to fight this. So he wasn't able to return any damage in the trade. And obviously, as you can see, he ended up getting quite a bit behind.
Yeah, and the especially difficult part of that for, Malphite is the fact that Shin does do a lot of damage at those early levels, with his key strike, which does key off his health. So, he's able to just buy those really tanky items early on, and his hitting power does go up quite a bit.
Absolutely. Shin going to grab 4 potions, head back to lane, but Nocturne's coming in for the... Oh, wow. Coming in for the gank on Mordekaiser. He has the Fear Leash down, and Mord was like, if I get feared, I'm going to get charmed. And if I get charmed, I very well might die. So just playing it safe, burning the flash, keeping himself out of harm's way, and now he's just going to return to doing a little farming. Meanwhile, Nocturne's like, raids, mine.
Yep, and then we see that the... Soraka's doing the extremely aggressive warding. She's got wards up all over the place. She did throw down the...
Ari's actually going to go all in on Mordekaiser. The Ignite is down. The exhaust coming in from Nocturne, and they will be able to pick up the kill on him before he's able to get away. Sorry for shouting over you there.
Well, no, that's absolutely fine. We have a really nice gank coming down mid. Mordekaiser did burn the ultimate on Ari. However, when Nocturne showed up, that was just exactly enough damage to, not only keep her safe, but, clinch that kill there. I did see that, Soraka has thrown down the pink ward in the river to clear out any wards that Blitzcrank might have tried to put up there. So it's just making it really difficult for our team here, UT Austin, to keep sight in the bottom lane. She's got wards everywhere, so they're extremely gank resistant right now.
Yeah, but the issue with this, obviously, the trade-off to having this many wards is the fact that she has no gold. She still just has the fairy charm that she started with, as far as like a real item that's going to stay with her for the entire game. Whereas, Blitz hasn't gone back to buy yet, but he's got 700 gold in his pocket. I think he's just waiting to hit 825 so he can get a Philo Stone, or maybe even wait for 900 so we can get Philo Stone and a ward. And oh wow, Graves jumping in on Ez, so much damage going down. Ez just gonna walk away from this. But
yeah, Ez does definitely not want to try and trade when Graves gets in that first volley. Yeah, and Blitzcrank, is gonna try and wait until he has at least 800 if he can. If you want to try and pick up the Philo Stone, you need at least 800 to pick that up. That's an 800 gold item.
Yes,
and then, if you can get 875 or more, pick up the ward. That'll be good. Blitz getting the pull, pulling him under the turret. Ez had to retreat, jumps back in. If not for that heal from Soraka, that would be one dead Graves. So this Soraka is really doing this really timely, heals to keep her AD carry alive. Nocturne ultimating on top of Ez, gonna pick him up in just a single burst of damage. The Fear lands on Blitzcrank, doing massive amounts of damage. Blitzcrank uses the knockup to try and escape under the turret, and he is going to get out of this alive, potentially. Ari is coming in from the side, however. Her ult is just now coming back up, but she's not going to try and risk that diving, the Blitzcrank under the turret. So he is going to get away alive, but very nearly a double kill down bottom.
Malphite Spidey Sense totally saving him there. He kind of walked in like he was going to check a brush and maybe try to go ahead and start CSing, and then he just stepped away. And right as he did, Entheomancer started the ultimate, and it wasn't really able to do anything to it. Malphite ended up flashing just to keep himself safe, but it was a bit unnecessary. And meanwhile, red buff still going down here from Team Cal Poly. Very nicely done.
Cal Poly did not only pick up that red buff and that kill down bottom lane. If we look at the CS right now, Ezreal's leading by 10, but now Graves has got that assist, Ezreal's got that kill. The lane is evened out a little bit, just because of the amount of time that Ezreal lost being dead.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, obviously the lane is going to still be a little bit in the advantage of Ez. He's got a kill and some CS up over Graves, but the lane is a lot closer to even than it was before that dive came down. And one more thing I do want to point out is that if Ez had stuck it out with Blitz, if Blitz had told him like, dude, I got this, and okay, pull actually gonna miss, had told him like, you're gonna be fine. He pulled Graves in and exhausted him because he knew he was pulling Graves in to auto attack range on his AD carry while he was really, really low. But that's why he went ahead and he burned the exhaust immediately. Ez could have stayed on there under the tower, and he probably could have gotten enough damage off on Graves to go ahead and pick up the kill. Instead, Ez flashed away.
Fiddlesticks is starting to come up through the bushes for an in-lane gank here. Blitzcrank is trying to move into position for the pull, activating his speed, kind of waiting for the perfect moment, missing that on Soraka. The ultimate from Fiddlesticks does come down, however, Soraka is just melting, gonna die instantaneously. Graves is just trying to figure out if he can try and do any damage. Blitzcrank pulling back, everything is on cooldown now. That was just sort of a really quick, really neat kill picked up right there with Fiddlesticks popping out with his ultimate from the bushes, and that was a surprise party that Soraka did not really want to be invited to.
Yeah, not really. No, that was I mean, she was a bit underdressed, and she didn't have the proper gift, and it just wasn't good. But so she just ended up giving Fiddlesticks 300 gold instead, which I'm sure he was just fine with. But
Yeah, I mean,
actually,
usually
excuse me,
people are okay
Ezreal.
with
Ezreal
gold.
got the
Yeah.
300 gold. So it was a surprise
Yeah,
party
I'm
for
sure the
Nancy.
team's even more okay with that, because if there's any person you want to have gold on your team, it is your AD carry, because at the late game, they are your source of damage.
I guess there were. I'm trying to figure out exactly what just happened there. I think there must have been a ward here, so Ari was able to land the charm, but then the ward must have died because she hit Foxfire, and Foxfire, like, she didn't have sight, so Foxfire didn't go up over the wall and hit ward. It could be that she just guessed on the charm just to see if he was walking out and she was trying to scare him, but if so, that was some pretty awesome guesswork. Wow, Ez actually blinking right on top of Graves Soraka. Soraka's going to go ahead and silence him. And Graves, I'm not sure if Buckshot was on cooldown, but he definitely just missed a big chunk of damage he could have put down right on Ezreal's face.
No, absolutely. We do see that Fiddlesticks is coming up through the brush again for another one of these surprise ganks.
This is just like last time, too. When he came up last time, his ult was 5 seconds on cooldown. Now, 5 seconds from now, he's going to have his ult again. I think he's just going to go for it.
Yeah, I mean, the lane is a little bit pushed, and there is a ward there, so they're going to have to try and land a pull to try and get this off.
I don't think they're going to be able to. I don't know if they know that this brush is warded. I think we're going to end up seeing Fiddlesticks walk into it and kind of give the game away. Or maybe they're actually just going to be really, really patient and hope that Graves pushes out with Buckshot.
I mean, it seems like we might be seeing that. There's a distinct possibility. You know, if Blitzcrank is able to land that pull, that would be a chance for them to get away with this. However, Nocturne and Ari are coming down to the bottom lane. We might be seeing a free-for-all about to erupt. Nocturne ultimate coming out. Fiddlesticks activates his ultimate as well. Pops out on top of Noct. Ez is dropping extremely low. Shin is ulting down here on top of them, with Blitzcrank dropping unbelievably low. Fiddlesticks extremely low as well. Pulling in Graves, getting the kill there from Ezreal. Ezreal's super low. Soraka getting dropped by Shen. The fear is going down onto Shin. Nocturne is extremely low, gets hit by the Mord ultimate. He's almost assuredly going to go down here. And he pops up that spell shield, but the Ignite goes off for Mord to pick up that kill. Ari's just going to have to run for her life up the river. And all of a sudden, we've got 3 people down for 2. And that was an extremely favorable exchange for Team UT Austin. They're probably going to go ahead and take this dragon without any real opposition.
Yeah, and I have to say, where was the Malphite ult, or Malphite teleport? I mean, I just have to say it, that he absolutely had to, as soon as he saw Shen ulting, he had to follow. And the fact that he didn't is what, honestly, that's what brought it back. Because if they had that big Malphite teamfight ult, you know, to go in and knock up Mordekaiser and allow Ari the opportunity to put all that damage down for free, I have to say, that was definitely a misplay. But,
I mean, he's trying to get a little bit of extra damage on the turret. He's dropping it extremely low, but his minion wave is running out. Blitzcrank and Shen are both coming up top towards him. The Blitzcrank is going to back away from that. So Shen's going to be able to get back in position and keep his tower alive just a little bit longer. And, you know, with that dash in and that key strike, as well as his Warple Blade, he's able to still land that really substantial amounts of damage that are just really hard for Malphite to answer.
Oh, and Theomancer was hoping that Shen would have another taunt up that he could go in and maybe try to get a gank. Or maybe he just literally wanted to come up here and drain the cannon minion for HP and get a little XP. Entirely possible.
It's a distinct possibility. I think mostly he was trying to scare Malphite out of the lane, because Shin's trying to go back here. So
I just want to say it was really cute. Mord, like, obviously had the ult down on Noct. Noct was, you know, 1 shot away from going down, and I just really thought it was funny that Noct was like spell shield, and Mord's like, okay, ignite, shield that.
Yeah, we see that there's a fight going down in the bottom lane. We did have a pull-in on Graves. Blitzcrank taking massive amounts of damage, however, and there's the teleport coming in from Malphite, picking up Blitzcrank, and then ulting onto Ezreal. Ezreal's knocked up and surrounded by 4 enemies. I think he's gonna go down here. He does manage to flash out of the fear and use his shift. However, Ari ultimate comes in, picks him up. So despite that double flash combination, Ari Wells says, I've got 3. So she's able to catch him, pick him up under the turret, and this bottom turret is going to fall to that combination of Graves, Nocturne, and Soraka.
Yeah, just absolutely fantastic work by Ari there coming in to secure that kill. And if she hadn't, Ez would have actually just survived a 4-man gank. And oh, Fizz, you need to get out!
Gang coming in here on Fiddlesticks, having to flash out of the fear tethers again with the Ignite on him extremely low. More thinking, well, maybe I'll interfere, and then being like, no, it's Ari, and it's Nocturne, and it's Soraka. I really don't. The ultimate is coming out on top of him, however. He's dodging all of those skill shots, unloading a little bit onto Ari, however, he's dropping a little bit low here, dealing quite a lot of damage right now, however. So he's just chasing all 3 of them back to turret.
Yeah, this is Mordekaiser. He only has, you know, Spell Pin Boots, Woda, and the Negatron Cloak, and he's chasing people all over the place, going in 3v1 like it's his job. I mean, wow. This Mordekaiser is already putting out an insane amount of damage and doing a lot of work for his team.
I mean, especially important to keep in mind is the fact that the more people around, the more tough Mordekaiser gets. So, he almost prefers to have that, that 2v1 if one of those people is Soraka.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, maybe not Soraka, just because Mordekaiser that can't cast his spells is a dead Mordekaiser. But I do understand what you're saying. Somebody low damage who's around to just kind of give him extra shield fodder.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, especially if someone's blown all their cooldowns already, blown all their spells.
Yeah, there you go.
Mordekaiser loves having them around. They're the best.
And, oh, Blitz! I like this. I really like this pink ward placement. They're like, all right, we're tired of getting roamed on by Ahri, so we want to have this warded, but we also want to stop them from warding our Mord, going out and doing some of the same thing. Like he keeps farming the Raze, and every time you do that as Mord, you run the potential of being ganked on your way back to lane as you walk through here. And so they pink ward it right here just to make sure that they can keep their Mordekaiser nice and safe.
Yeah, and you can see that right now he is.
Oh! What a blitz hook! Pulling Graves over the other.
Graves, Ezreal jumps in on top of that, unloads the ultimate, and we've got him just barely getting out of this alive. If not for a very timely heal combination of ultimate and her heal from Soraka, that would have been an extremely dead Graves.
Yeah, he had to burn that flash. Just like that was a fantastic blitz hook. And Ez, knowing that he's going to be locked up in a certain position for just enough time, actually went ahead and unloaded with the ultimate, blitzed through the exhaust down to keep him in range, within the line, and also to decrease his resists. And man, Graves just got blown up. That was very nice play there by UT Austin.
Yeah, absolutely. And the one thing I would like to point out there is the fact that they also managed to dump that Ignite down, so it took all of Soraka's heals. It took everything she had to get him, to keep him alive, and even then it was only just barely. So that was really well thought out to go ahead and drop that Ignite to make sure that Soraka really couldn't bail Graves out very effectively. Yeah,
absolutely. And also and that might have been part of why Graves didn't even use his summoner heal. He still has that off cooldown. I think he was afraid of using it for, not getting the return he needed. And,
absolutely. But all three lanes are kind of going back to a little bit of passivity as they're going back into farming for just a little bit. However, we can see that there's the very timely pull going off on the cannon minion with the ultimate from Ez, looking for a repeat, near kill there. Unfortunately, this time all they got was a displaced cannon minion.
Let's take a quick second to talk about the CS across the map. Shen and Malphite are almost just about even in CS. 120 to 117. Shen gonna maybe extend that a little bit as he's farming under his tower. The big story right here, though, is Mordekaiser sitting at 197 farm, 18 and a half minutes into the game. He's about to break 200 farm, 18 and a half minutes into the game. He's been farming Rays and Wolves non-stop, just constantly getting himself all the gold he can. Ahri's she's got 149, but she does have 3 kills from roaming around bottom lane. So honestly, the gold relatively even. Let's see, 6,222 for her, 6,358 for him. So very, very nice play by both these mid players. And oh, she snatches the blue wraith away. I think
that was a really well
this.
played skew for her. I think that was a really nice. I don't know. I'm almost just gonna call that a taunt from her. That wasn't so much of a big gameplay changing thing, so much as it was something that was just gonna get under Mord's skin and make him angry.
Yeah, it's just throwing the gauntlet down. It's like, all right, I can farm wraiths too, bro. Let's do this.
And not only that, I can farm your wraiths, bro. So just got a little bit of an insult there from her. However, we do have, if we're looking at the bottom lane, we do have Ezreal with 3 kills on him and 147 farm. To Graves' 0 kills and 115. Graves does have 5 assists, and they did just pick up a dragon, but at the same time, I don't know, Graves is kind of losing his lane right now.
Well, I mean, it's just the pressure that Blitzcrank is providing, where they're having to play really, really passively and keep themselves alive. And actually, wow, Ez not content with Blitzcrank's Ignite as a form of heal debuff, actually rushing an Executioner's Calling as his first completed item, giving him another heal debuff.
And a substantial amount of lifesteal for himself, so that he can actually stick it in toe-to-toe with Graves in those fights. Graves really is that tough, gritty, in-your-face AD, and Ezreal is kind of saying, I'll take you toe-to-toe. Picking up that 18% lifesteal, apart from a fully stacked Bloodthirster, that's the most lifesteal you're going to get off any item in the game.
And we're actually going to see Malphite and Shen they're dueling it out, and Ahri is on her way. Will Malphite burn the ult? Is he going to commit to this?
You see that the charm does land. We've got the Nocturne ultimate coming in. Shen dashing out of it. However, the Ahri ult does come out to pick up that kill on Shen. So it's a 3-man gank I was gonna say at the start, Malphite and Shin are fighting. They're not gonna hurt each other. They're just gonna kind of slap each other for a couple of minutes. But as soon as everyone else shows up with damage, it's a whole different story.
Oh man, Fiddlesticks coming in, turning what looked like a silly trade into an easy double kill for Ezreal. That was huge. Ez got right up in Graves' face. Graves like, dude, do you not realize how much damage I do at this range? And tried to jump on him. Ez actually had to burn the summoner heal because he was like, wait, this may have gone on a little too early. And then Fiddles was like, don't worry, bro, I'm right here. I got you. And Ez dropped the ult, killing both Soraka and Graves instantly.
Yeah,
Super heads up
and
play there.
Yeah, and then we do have the bottom turret for, our Polycal going down, and then the top turret for UT Austin going down. So in that Malphite Shin lane, Malphite does get the first turret, much to Shin's chagrin, I guess. But we do see that, overall the gold for both teams is exactly on par. There's a slight lead going on for UT Austin right now of about 700 gold, but that's really nothing to talk about.
Yeah, that's basically just Mordekaiser's farm, honestly. It's obviously, Ahri does have the 4 kills and the assist as compared to, Mordekaiser just has the 1 kill. But really the goal difference in this game right now is just coming down to the fact that Mordekaiser is farming like a monster right now.
And then Ezreal's got those 5 kills with a pretty substantial amount of farm himself. He has already picked up his Infinity Edge. So that means that Ezreal is suddenly going to be dealing massive amounts of damage, especially off of his Q. That can crit. It does apply on hits. And that is a really substantial amount of damage that's going to be coming out of Ezreal in those bursts now.
Look at how tanky this Malphite is getting. He's got the Heart of Gold. He's got a couple of Doran's Rings to give him some HP and mana regen. I don't think he's super concerned about the ability power, although obviously that will increase the harass. But, now he's got the Giant's Belt, and he's got let's see how much gold is he. He's got 860 gold in his pocket. And, yeah, he's going to go ahead and turn that into a Sunfire Cape.
We do see that there possibly a Baron attempt going down here at the 22-minute time. We've got Mordekaiser getting jumped onto by Ahri and Nocturne, however. His team are kind of just leaving him to die. He does turn and unleash an enormous amount of damage in one single burst, dropping half of Nocturne's health off. So this Mord really is hitting like a truck. He has picked up his Abyssal Scepter, and there's really no idea here from Polycal that there's going to be this early Baron going on. That's one of the strengths of Fiddlesticks as a jungler. He can sit there and tank Baron like there's no tomorrow. And all of a sudden, that is a 1.5k gold lead picked up. The Blitz took very, very barely missing Soraka there. And suddenly, this is a blue team with Baron. And I think that's something that Polycal really had no idea was coming. It's Craig walking face first into Graves and Nocturne and Malphite, running for his life with that speed. They're not going to pursue. I think they're just shocked that there's a Baron on them right now. But, Blitzcrank having a lucky break right there that they did not jump right onto him. That could have very nearly been really disastrous.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Mordekaiser was just kind of the diversion there. You just make him look to the right while we hit him from the left. And he was just out there 1v2ing Ahri and Nocturne, kind of taking up all the focus from that team. And meanwhile, in the Baron pit, bad things were happening to old Grimace Nasher there.
Yeah, we can see that Shin and Malphite are just kind of poking each other in the top lane. Center turret is going to go down. Blitzcrank getting focused with a massive amount of damage. Graves ult comes out for that kill. Fiddlesticks ults in, however, dropping them extremely low. However, they are going to be able to get out of that. There is no follow-up CC to try and keep them in place. So, unfortunately, that's a whole lot of damage blown with not any way to really follow up and finish that kill for any of those champions. Ahri dropped extremely low. Nocturne dropped extremely low. And they really couldn't do anything to finish them off there. Mord is going to go ahead and try and push this turret, but, he doesn't have a minion wave to build a shield off of, so he's not going to be able to pick that off just yet.
Yeah, I mean, Blitzcrank, he tried to bait it too hard. Like, he got in there, he tried to get in the middle of everybody and eat their cooldowns and then silence them all, so when Fiddlesticks came in, no one could do anything about it. But he just went down too fast. He wasn't tanky enough to pull off that kind of play with only a Philosopher's Stone and Mobies. Like, you just can't pull that kind of stuff off. And, Fiddlesticks came in, and props to Ahri for, I mean, this is exactly the build you want to have this game. 2 D-Rings to give her a little bit of extra health, and then the Rylai's to give her a big stack of health, and the Woda to give her all the sustain she can ever want. And this is exactly what you want in the kind of game where you'll be going against high burst champions, like Fiddlesticks coming out with the ult, like Mordekaiser dropping everything down on you all at once. It's just, this is exactly what you want to see from your AP mid player in this kind of game.
Yeah, especially because that Rylai's, for Ahri's skills, I mean, not everyone knows, but some of her skills, as a matter of fact, most of them, are considered single-target spells, even though they are actually multi-target spells. So they actually proc the full slow from that Rylai's, which means that she's really able to catch stragglers and keep them in range of her team with that. It gives her not only her charm for that really strong CC that keeps people in range, but it also gives her, you know, that little bit of extra slow. So she's suddenly really strong on the CC as well as her damage.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the utility for an entire team of or the utility to slow an entire team with an Ahri with Rylai's is, you know, it's huge. Yeah, so much capability there.
And we see that this turret is currently surviving with exactly 1 hit point. So literally, if you breathe on this turret, it's going to die. However, the purple team is defending extremely well. There is a pull getting Malphite, not the person they wanted. They are putting a lot of damage onto him, but unfortunately Malphite is extraordinarily tanky right now. So really, you know, they unload all that burst, and he's really only at about 1/3 health. I mean, anybody else would be about instantly dead.
Yeah, just about. And Malphite, you know, gonna go ahead and burn the ultimate to get away from this. But I have to say, Cal Poly? Yes, Cal Poly is the purple team. Cal Poly is doing a great job of stalling out this Baron. I mean, UT Austin has achieved, I mean, this is the first team fight objective type, the first team objective that they're going to actually pick up while they're holding the Baron. And honestly, it only happened because of a great pull from Blitz.
Yeah, and you know, the Baron is going to end in just a few seconds. We're
Ahri!
Through and immediately burst down. We do see that a lot of damage did land on Blitzcrank, however, it was not enough to bring him down, you know. So they're going to just go ahead and keep pressuring this turret now, and they're down and alright. And then the ultimate from Fiddlesticks coming off, jumping on top of Graves with that spear. He flashes over the wall right into the arms of Shen with that taunt. It gets picked up by the ultimate from Mordekaiser. And then Malphite getting burst down by Mordekaiser as well. Ezreal escaping with 5 hit points. Nocturne falling to Mordekaiser. And then all of a sudden, their team is mostly gone, and they're just going to pick up another turret here. And that was a beautiful team fight, and unbelievably successful here for UT Austin. Ezreal making it out with literally no hit points remaining, 5 health. I mean, he would have died to a minion, and so that's kind of what you call your close escapes right there.
Absolutely, that was ridiculous play. I mean, absolutely ridiculous. And Malphite is Blitz once more.
Immediate burst, Ezreal jumping into range to pick up that kill. And I think Ahri really wanted to try and ult through and pick up Ezreal there, but at the same time, didn't want to just die immediately. Graves coming in, trying to deal some damage, unloading everything, not able to burst anyone down. And this Nexus is going to fall, and that's going to be game 1 for UT Austin.
Yeah, wow. Just insane heads-up play from them there. You know, this Fiddlesticks, yeah, Dire Wolfie told us, he's like, dude knows a lot. No, he knows about some Fiddlesticks, man. He's just showing us exactly how much he knows. Ridiculous play there from Entheomancer. And by the way, that just got watched by 4,500 people. 4,500 people just learned how to play Fiddlesticks.
I'm hoping you're going to stick around for Game 2, because if Game 2 is anything like Game 1, we are going to see some absolutely spectacular plays. I'm thinking we're probably going to see a Fiddlesticks ban, though.
Yeah, I would not be surprised at all. Wow. Incoming Fit and Blitz bans. Yeah, Dire Wolfie's going to go ahead and call it out right now.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and expect that we're going to see either the Blitz ban, the Fiddlesticks ban, the Mord ban, potentially. But I think the big thing is if they get Fiddlesticks in the jungle again, they're going to have to try and invade and disrupt him immediately, because you know, he is a jungler that does struggle a bit if you do pull that blue buff out from under him early in the game. But either way, that was a really frightening performance from Fiddlesticks, and I'll confess, that was really impressive.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Super strong play there. And next invites are out. So if you want to go ahead and hop on into this next lobby.
All right.
And the friend requesting has begun anew. Fantastic.
It's going to take me a second to find it amid all the friend requests. Give me a moment. Well, I'm surprised I actually don't have that many. It's a pretty low amount so far. I mean, I guess people have heard me saying that I don't have much room, and so like, oh, well, I guess I won't. But I don't know. To some extent, I do find it pretty funny to just get the barrage. But
okay, I'm actually being told that the stream is looking a little bit choppy, so I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take the stream down for just 1 moment. I'm going to reset the resolution to 720p instead of 1080, and I will be right back, guys. Sorry about this. Just 1 moment.